We're going to use the information that we learned with our basic shading worksheet and apply it to 3D shapes to learn how to actually shade forms. The end result will look like this. We're doing the cube first. So you will need your worksheet and your 2B pencil, eraser, sharpener, and I recommend a little cup or bowl to put your pencil shavings in. I'm going to use a magazine underneath my worksheet simply because I want a little bit of a cushion between my tabletop and my worksheet. So I'm going to place that here. So we have these 3 shapes, and the sphere looks the most flat. These at least have some dimension to them. But to create a more 3D look, we're going to add the shading, the different values. So I'm going to start off by labeling the sun. The sun is our light source. So I'm going to label it light. This is a natural light source, so fire, sun, those are natural light sources versus light bulbs that are in lamps, flashlights, that would create a artificial light source. So we're going to focus on the cube. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. So since the light is coming from the sun here and moving on to the cube, we're going to keep the top the lightest. We're going to start with the top. So that's going to be the lightest on the top. And if you refer back to our worksheet, we had a 1 through 5 value scale. We're going to work with a number 1 value. So I'm referring, of course, to this. We have our number 1, the lightest, 2, 3 in the middle, and 5 is our darkest. So we're going to start with number 1 value at the top. So remember to drop your pencil into your palm, close your fingers, and you have a nice loose grip. Nice sharpened pencil is important. And I'm just going to vary the lightest pressure, the lightest gray that I can achieve. Attempting to stay inside the box the best you can, but we have an eraser. So the top is first. I'm just putting a light layer as evenly and consistently as I can for number 1. Okay. We're going to move on to the left side, and I'm going to call the left side a number 2 value. So if you look at our chart, we went from a 1, now we're doing a 2. And it is going to go fairly consistent from top to bottom, just like we did here. So I'm going to tilt my paper a little bit. You can always turn your paper whatever is the most convenient for you, left-handed, right-handed. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm holding it loosely in my palm. Nice and slow. Take your time. This way I don't get pencil streaks because I'm using the side of the pencil. However, if you hear or feel kind of a scratchy sound or feeling, then you might be pressing too hard on the wood part. So you may have to change your angle a little bit. And make sure you have a sharp pencil. So I'm working my way down, top to bottom. And it's darker at the top, which I like that part better. So I'm going to press a little harder with another layer right here so I can keep like that dark part up here. So I'm going to bring this down a second layer, a little more pressure. Make sure I get my edges and corners. And I think that looks pretty consistent. I'm going to take my eraser and clean up these edges here. Okay. And next I'm going to go with the right side. Now the right side's a little bit different. instead of just one value from top to bottom, we're actually going to take it and make it more like your blending values chart. So what I'm actually going to do is work with a number 4 at the top, and I'm going to fade it down to a number 1. So I'm going to start off with a 4, number 4, pressure and darkness. And then I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to kind of fade it down from a 3 to a 2 to a 1. So this is going to take a little more effort and time. I'm going to start pressing harder and then lightening up my pressure, reducing my layers so that it's a 1 at the bottom. So let's look at a finished one first. Here's a finished one. We're just looking at this right side. So it's going to go from a 4, fading into a 3, fading into a 2 to a 1 at the bottom. So that's our goal for this right side. I have my pencil. So I'm going to start at the top. You can already see I've gone a little bit darker than the 2 here, which is good. A little more pressure, working my way down. Nice and slow. Oops, I got a little dark spot there. Let's see if I can fix that. All right, I'm loosening up my pressure. I'm not pressing as hard as I work my way down towards the very bottom where I want to achieve a number 1. So just at a glance, I got a dark spot right there I got to fix, and kind of a dark streak here. I don't think it's my paper. So did I get this? I'm pretty close. I'm going to press just a little bit harder at the very top and to smooth out some of my inconsistencies. Little white holes on the edges. I went outside a little bit, but that's okay. So I can erase it. Working my way down. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. As I keep going, of course. And the reason why there's a very light value here is technically the sun is coming down, bouncing off the table down here and up into this. We call that reflected light because it's reflecting off the surface. All right, a little swipe right there to clean up my edge. Okay, now we come to the cast shadow part, and here's where you're going to have to draw it in a little bit because we do not have a cast shadow drawn. It's going to look, however, like this. Okay, so you can see it fits right along the edge of the cube, right along the edge there, because the sun is creating this line at the bottom of the cube. So whatever you have, if you have a ruler, if you have a folded up piece of notebook paper, if you have an envelope, if you have a folder, a game case, a DVD case, an envelope, a book. There's so many things that you can use if you don't have an actual ruler. So please locate something that you can create a straight edge. We're not measuring. You just need something that is a straight edge. An envelope from a piece of mail works great. So I'm lining up my ruler with the side of the box right here, and then I'm just going to draw my line down to the edge of the paper. Let me repeat that. So I line my ruler up right here on this line of the cube, and then I continue drawing my line to the edge of the paper like that. Same thing up here. We want a little edge right there. So I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to slide it back to keep it parallel till I hit that corner right there. And there's a little line right here. And now I've made our cast shadow. So it's going to look like this, and what you'll see is this is the darkest part on the whole drawing that we're doing right now. This is a number 5. This is the darkest area, and then we're going to fade it just a little bit, maybe to about a 4 as it hits the edge of the paper. So here is, we're going to go with a number 5 value for the cast shadow. So I could start off pressing pretty hard, but I also know I can add and build up layers. So for now, I'm just going to get it filled in. Trying to keep it nice and smooth. Side of a sharpened pencil. You can always pause at any time whenever you're working and sharpen your pencil. It really is important to keep that nice sharp edge to create your accurate values. All right, so now I've filled it in, and now I can go, I'm going to change my grip. I'm going to press just a little bit harder. I'm going to put my finger up here so I can get that nice, bold, black number 5. Then I'm slowly going to work my way towards the end of the cast shadow, which goes off the paper. Work my way back up, just filling in edges. I'm pretty happy with that, but I do want the dark to extend a little further. So I think I just have to put my pressure on as I go this way. A little circular motion towards the edge if you need to really press down and get that edge a little darker. Okay, I'm going to go with that. I need to clean up my edge. Oops. Okay. So, yeah, I would call that complete. So here's my completed cube. You can see it without all the numbers. So we've got lightest on the top, a number 2 value on the left, a graduated dark to light on the right, and a nice dark cast shadow with a number 5 value. Next video will be the cylinder or the sphere. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.